Well, hello there. My name is Janene Cummings, and Reverend Terry and I are so excited to spend these moments with you. All right, how about we call on some peace? Peace, I need you to rock me till my worries fall away. Peace, I need you to rock me till my worries fall away. I'm calling peace. Oh, please rock me. Peace, I need you to hold me till my courage comes to life. Peace, I need you to hold me till my courage comes to life. I'm calling peace. Oh, please hold me. Oh, won't you hold me? Come here and hold me. Peace, I need you to soothe me in the loving light of God. Peace, I need you to soothe me in the loving light of God. I'm calling peace. Oh, please soothe me. Oh, won't you soothe me? Come here and soothe me. Peace, I need you to rock me till my worries fall away. Peace, I need you to rock me till my worries fall away. I'm calling peace. Oh, please rock me. Oh, won't you rock me? Come here and rock me.
Hey, thanks, Janene. Welcome, everyone, to Unity of Olympia's streaming Sunday service. We're pleased that you've joined us. Let's begin as we begin everything with prayer. Holy Spirit, we invoke an awareness of your power and presence right here, right now, in our lives and in the lives of all people, all humanity. Furthermore, we invoke the awareness of the presence of the divine in all of nature. We recognize God as our source, as the source of life itself, regardless of manifestation. We recognize and affirm that God is the presence of being everywhere, at all times, in all places, in all circumstances. In this awareness, we find rest, we find peace, we find celebration, we find faith, and we find love. We pray knowing that these are available to all people everywhere. People who are willing to open their hearts and their minds to an experience of the sacred and the holy. We're so grateful for this truth, and we call it forth, an awareness of God in all people, in all nations, for the good of all. And so it is. Amen.
Blessed are the peacemakers who travel this world. Blessed are the peacemakers who shine their light. Blessed are the peacemakers who serve love's will. Blessed are the peacemakers who've sacrificed their lives. We're here to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're here to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Blessed are the peacemakers who travel this world. Blessed are the peacemakers who shine their light. Blessed are the peacemakers who serve love's will. Blessed are the peacemakers who've sacrificed their lives. We're here to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're here to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're here to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's right. We're here to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Janene. Well, happy Memorial Day weekend. We are here to say thank you to the peacemakers. And today, if you've been following along with this particular series, today is the last of a 7-week series on the creation story and the creative process in our own life. Day 7, here it is from Genesis chapter 2. Thus, the heavens and the earth were finished, and all their multitude. And on the 7th day, God finished the work that he had done, and he rested on the 7th day from all the work that he had done. So God blessed the 7th day and hallowed it, because on it God rested from all the work that he had done in creation. Getting a theme there, right? It was a lot of work to create the planet and the people and the animals and the fish and the birds. It was a lot of work, and God needed a break. Well, today we're going to talk about Sabbath and talk about how this fits into the creative process for us and how it ties into the sacred act of Memorial Day and what that means for each one of us. You know, one of the most common preached sayings about Sabbath in churches is the quote from Jesus. It says, Sabbath, humankind was not made for the Sabbath. The Sabbath is for humankind. And yet in our culture in the United States, what we've come to believe is that Sabbath means that if you celebrate Sabbath, that means that you are participating in a church, synagogue, or mosque service. And my point about today's lesson is that that is just not true. Not only is that untrue, but it dishonors those people who are able to find the divine presence, the sacred, in the forest, in the laughter of children, in visiting a memorial site for those who have made sacred their lives. All of this is Sabbath. All of this, whenever someone is experiencing the luminescence, the essence of the divine presence. When someone takes time to make something sacred and holy, that is Sabbath. So I'm going to get started on this thing. I want to talk about the idea of Sabbath, the history of Sabbath, and what the purpose is today in a world that is primarily secular. All right, so the creative process in the Bible. I'm going to do a review of where we've been these last 6 weeks. You know, we started off with the first day in creation, and what I really want to get across to you is that this story of creation is our story of creation. It is how we co-create with that divine presence at all times. First, we ground ourselves in the divine. We ground ourselves in an idea of presence, of an idea of power. We ground ourselves in an idea of life. The second day represents being open to all the thoughts and feelings that come forth through our own human experience. And then focusing on those, deciding which ones we want to give our attention to, which ones we want to give compassion to, and which ones we really just want to release, that we're able to just release, that maybe no longer serve us. That third day, or the third step in the creative process, is opening to a new picture, a new understanding of who we've come here to be, or what is ours to do. Opening so that from the spirit itself, from the spirit of love, can come forth a new idea. And then the fourth day represents getting clear about what that idea means, and then building enthusiasm. It's understanding and building a personal connection and willingness to promote that idea. The fifth day is actually looking for the many, many ways that we can make the idea manifest in the world. It's a brainstorming practice, just throwing all the ideas of how we do it into one bucket, and then deciding which ones are the ones that will help us take flight to bring that idea into fruition. And then on the sixth day, we talked about this last week, it's the big picture. What's the big picture? You know, there's a big plan that comes out of this creative process. In the Bible, the big plan is life on this planet. It's a big plan. And so the anthropomorphized God that the Hebrew story tells about, the man in the sky, was tired and had to take a rest. Now, I don't think that most people believe in the guy in the sky who does a bunch of stuff and then has to rest once a week, God anymore. What we recognize is that there is an essence of power and energy source that is constantly available to us. And it's by giving our attention to this source that divine ideas show up within us, that the energy that we need to move forward, that the love that we experience comes from, so that we can share it with one another. And on this, the seventh day, God rested. This idea of rest is another one that I believe the Hebrews saw as projection. They work and work and work and work. And you know, think about this. Back in the day, there was no electricity. Running water was not the way that we have running water and hot water. Probably not. Work was a lot different then for everybody. than it is today, at least in our culture. And so, yes, they needed a day of rest. Absolutely. And they assumed that the God of their understanding needed that as well. Now, of course, it became so important that even Moses was given this as a rule for living when he received the 10 commandments. The fourth commandment in the rule book is remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. For me, and I invite you to try this on as well, what that means is that we're invited over and over again, in between all of our work, to recognize and to come into relationship with that divine presence that allows us to recognize this planet, the people on it, our lives as holy and sacred. This is what Sabbath is about. That's what it's about in the Jewish tradition. It's what it's really about in the Christian tradition, and that's what it's about in the Islam tradition as well. Now, each of these has their own idea about when Sabbath is. Most Christian churches see Sabbath as a Sunday experience because that's the day that Jesus resurrected. Jewish Sabbath begins Friday night at sundown, which is really Saturday for them. Their Sabbath is on a Saturday. And in the Islam tradition, Sabbath is on Fridays. Their church day would be, of course, it's a mosque. Their prayer time is on Fridays, I think right around noon. And so each of these three major traditions has time set aside to come to know the divine presence within. You know, there's an article that was written a few years ago by Sahib Sultan. It was written in 2016 in response to the Times cover story of 1966 that said, "Is God dead?" I want to read just a part of that. To begin with, Muslims' conception of God refutes what modern people may find to be implausible about the divine. The God of Islam is decidedly an unanthropomorphic deity. The Quran plainly states there is nothing like God. A common saying among Muslim theologians is, your incapacity to perceive God is your proper conception of God, referring to it as mystery. He goes on, Islam's very testimony of faith begins with a negation. There is no God. Before the affirmation, except for God. Muslim theologians spend as much, if not more time, negating who God is before affirming who God is. In Islamic theology, God is known through named attributes, both intimate and transcendent, not through physical characteristics. God is not and cannot be confined to the limitations of time, space, or gender. One power, one presence. I love reading and learning about this Islam understanding of God because I find it to be very close to my own understanding of God, which is that I can understand my experience of God. But that doesn't mean that I can give a definition of what that divine presence is. I am enthralled when you tell me about what your experience of God is. And yet, we know that that doesn't mean we understand all of what God is. This is what Sabbath is about. It's about taking time to know that presence in the way that we can know it, whether it be angels, whether it be singing and laughing with your friends and family, whether it be walking in a forest. You know, the psalmist says, "Be still and know that I am God." It's one of the most famous quotes from Psalm. Be still and know that I am God. In this awareness, we're invited into a place of peace. You know, there's a story about when the Europeans showed up in Hawaii, and then, of course, the Christian missionaries showed up as well. That the reason that the Hawaiians named them Howleys was because of their prayer practice, because of their church rituals. In the Hawaiian tradition, they spent time in the silence and breathing. And the word haole meant without breath. That these people walked into a church building and sat down, and it was constantly talking, praying, but they did not take the time to breathe in the very essence of the divine. Emerson's writings, all of them, were a call to mysticism. That's what this is too. It's a call to experience God, the divine, spirit, whatever name you have for this presence that lives in and through and as us. It talks about being at peace. Peace. Be still and know that I am God. Well, tomorrow's Memorial Day, and it's certainly a wonderful opportunity to honor those who have served our nation and given their lives. As we look back over the past year and especially right now over the past week, I want to bring to our attention that it was the 1-year anniversary of the death, the murder of George Floyd. And his family says his death will change the world. I hold that as a possibility. I pray that that ends up being the truth. I feel so, I'm going to say it, I'm grateful. I am grateful for the increased awareness of what inequality we have in our society right now, so that I can participate personally in assisting those who are working for equality. This Memorial Day, especially, where we remember those who have been lost in service to our country, I want to include all of those people of color who have been lost, who have been taken, that they have done that in service to our country, that we might form a more perfect union, that we might open our eyes, open our hearts, and let the love of God determine our future, that all people are created equal and deserve to be treated as such. In unity, our first basic principle, and we've only got 5. Our first basic principle is that there is one presence and one power, God. Our second basic principle is that God presence is within all of humanity. I call that forth. Join me. Let us all call that forth, that God presence, that we may see it in one another, that we may honor it, that we may take an opportunity to be present to the Sabbath experience as we see someone that we may have called the other in the past. And let us call them our brother and our sister. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "No one is free until we are all free." And there is one thing I seek, and I think that you also would seek that as well, is freedom. Freedom to understand God, to understand my neighbors, to love and laugh with my family members in a way that works for me and for them, and to allow that for others, to invite that for others. Today, I've talked about the Islam tradition, I've talked about the Jewish tradition and the Christian tradition, and especially I want to just mention the secular humans that I want to honor and call out as sacred and holy. This is the Sabbath. This is keeping the Sabbath. Is taking a time to rest from our daily thoughts and activities, our work, our work on the computer, our work at our desks, our work in the garage or the kitchen or the field, to turn within. Now, of course, for you, that may mean a forest bath, as a walk in the woods has been renamed these days. It might mean singing, dancing. It might mean being alone and lighting a candle, praying. Whatever your experience is of Sabbath, let that be your experience on a regular basis. Because as we walk through the creative process, it's sometimes messy, and it's sometimes painful, and it's sometimes overly exciting. I think about, remember Kool and the Gang, celebrate good times, come on. You know, that's our experience too, when we're working in the co-creative process with our lives. And so let's purposely take time to honor this story of creation that we get from the Bible that says rest, peace, be still. In closing, I'd like to read a poem. It's called Song of the Builders. On a summer morning, I sit down on a hillside to think about God. A worthy pastime. Near me, I saw a single cricket. It was moving the grains of the hillside, this way and that way. How great was its energy, how humble its effort. Let us hope it will always be like this, each of us going on in our inexplicable ways, building the universe. Namaste.
Thank you, Reverend Terry. Ah, that was so heartwarming. All right, as we enter this meditation portion, let's place a hand on our heart. I want you to sing with me. Let's sing ourselves back home to love. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. With every breath I breathe, I'm coming home. heading straight to love, and I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. With every breath I breathe, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm heading straight to love. I'm coming home. Let's do it one more time. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. With every breath I breathe, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm headed straight to love. I'm coming home.
And so let's take this time, this opportunity to turn within, to know that divine presence in our hearts and our minds and every cell of our bodies. I invite you to set aside whatever you might have in your hands and rest more deeply into the seat upon which you sit. Close your eyes if that's comfortable, or find a focal point upon which your eyes might rest. And let's bring our attention to the breath. As we notice the breath flowing in with ease, we notice also our tummy rise, the chest rise, perhaps the coolness of the breath as it enters the nostrils. And on the exhale, that sense of relaxation that comes so easily with every exhale. Allow the tummy to soften, the shoulders to drop. As we inhale, I want to invite you to invoke the name of God that serves you. And on the exhale, I invite you to speak, I am here. On the inhale, that name of presence, of source. And on the exhale, I am here. Let's do this a few more times. As we inhale the name of God that is sacred to us, and we exhale into the truth that we are here now with that divine presence, we experience our home. This is our heart's home. This is the home of our soul. We open to the greater awareness of this presence and this power that is the very source of our lives. It is the the source of love. Allah, I am here. Father, Mother, God, I am here. Jesus, I am here. Spirit, I am here. I invite you to take this into the silence for a few moments, to be at home with your God. Divine Source, we're so grateful for the opportunity to know the experience of love, of peace within, of power and presence that fuels our every thought and every word. We rely deeply on this presence for all that we are, and we affirm that we are always home in this presence of the divine. And so it is.
I'm coming home. I'm coming home. With every breath I breathe, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm heading straight to love. I'm coming home. Join me. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. With every breath I breathe, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm heading straight to love. I'm coming home.
It's been wonderful to be with you today, and I am just blessed to know that you are a part of our community. So thank you for joining us. If today has served you spiritually and emotionally, or in any other way, then please share this with your friends or families. And if you'd like to support Unity of Olympia financially, we would appreciate that. You can go to unityofolympia.org and click on the donate button. It's just that easy. Friends, join me in prayer, will you? The light of God surrounds us. We are the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love of God. The power of God protects us. We are the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Namaste, friends.